While everyone's distracted by political theater, the biggest financial revolution in American history has been happening under our noses. In about 24 months, one company quietly spent over $3 billion assembling what can reasonably be called a replacement for the Federal Reserve System. Not a competitor, a replacement. I'm talking about Ripple. Before you think crypto company, pause. That's exactly the perception being encouraged while Ripple acquires core financial infrastructure. Here's what they've actually built. This isn't a startup with a white paper. It's a full-stack monetary system already operational. In 2023, Ripple acquired Hidden Road for $1.25 billion. Hidden Road was a global multi-asset prime broker serving 300-plus institutions, having cleared over $3 trillion across FX, crypto, derivatives, and fixed income. Rebranded as Ripple Prime, Ripple didn't buy a trading desk. They bought Wall Street's plumbing. Next, G-Treasury reported integration value $1 billion, connects 800-plus corporate clients, and to 13,000 banks, moving roughly $12.5 trillion in annual payment volume. That gives Ripple direct pipes into where Fortune 500 CFOs manage cash, liquidity, FX, collateral, and working capital. Rail, for about $200 million, processes a meaningful share of global stablecoin B2B settlements and automates back-office reconciliation. Ripple folded Rail into its stablecoin business and RLUSD Instant, programmable commercial money for business settlement. Put simply, Ripple Prime equals market access plus liquidity. G-Treasury equals corporate treasury layer. Rail plus RLUSD equals instant settlement dollar. These moves form the plumbing of a new monetary chassis. Ripple also acquired Mitaco Institutional Custody and Tokenization Infra and Standard Custody, a New York chartered trust. That gives institutional-grade custody for crypto, tokenized real-world assets, CBDCs, and stablecoin. Crucially, Ripple has applied to the OCC for a national bank charter and for a Federal Reserve master account. If granted, Ripple becomes a Fed-connected bank that can custody digital assets, issue RLUSD, and clear value directly with the central bank 24/7, not sitting in the lobby, but walking into the control room. Brad Garlinghouse has said XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does. So assemble the layers. Ripple Prime for market access, G-Treasury for corporate cash management, Rail and RLUSD for instant settlement, Standard Custody, Mitaco for regulated vaults, a national bank charter for legal authority, and XRPL, ODL, ILP, AMM for trustless, programmable settlement. This is a full reserve, always on, globally compliant, tokenized monetary system, not a prototype. Now, what problems does this solve that governments and corporations are desperate to fix? Problem A, slow settlement and counterparty risk. International wires and correspondent banking take days, create FX slippage, and layer intermediaries who each add fees and risk. With XRP as a neutral bridge and RLUSD as a regulated settlement dollar, counterparties in different currencies can settle atomically. I get mine only when you get yours. Settlement compresses from T+2 to 3 days to mere seconds, with ISO 20022 data embedded for audit, compliance, and tariffs. Problem B, opacity and liquidity, collateral, and rehypothecation. Today, the same collateral can be pledged multiple times across prime brokerage and derivatives. Ripple Prime plus on-ledger custody means collateral, margin, and settlement can be transparent and auditable. Tokenized custody prevents secretly pledging the same asset many times. The fraud window narrows. Problem C, corporate treasury fragmentation. Multinationals juggle bank accounts in 20 countries. FX swaps, compliance checks, liquidity pools, and manual reconciliation. G-Treasury, integrated into Ripple plugs Treasury ops into programmable rails, so value, reserves, and FX flow instantly across 13,000 plus banks and hundreds of corporates. Corporate money becomes software. Problem D, regulatory accountability. Regulators now demand provable compliance. Every transfer can carry structured data satisfying AML, KYC, sanction screening, tariff enforcement, and tax reporting in near real time. That's trusted but verifiable. You don't have to trust a counterparty. You can verify them on ledger. So what happens to the Fed model? The Fed issues base money and backstops banks. Commercial banks multiply base money through fractional reserve lending, creating credit that becomes deposits and charging interest on it. The system is intentionally opaque. Now place Ripple's stack alongside that. Direct impact has-on, transparency, pressure, atomic, timestamp, KYC, auditable settlement, makes the black box netting of big banks obsolete. Direct impact #2, liquidity without leverage. Provably backed instant settlement reduces the need to borrow bank IOUs for cross-border movement. Direct impact #3, collateral discipline. Tokenized, regulated custody shrinks secret rehypothecation and forces leverage down. Direct impact #4, alternative rails for sovereigns. If Ripple gains a Fed master account and issues RLUSD under supervision, large corporates and treasuries can bypass parts of the correspondent bank stack. Direct impact #5, end of hidden usury as default. Instant, auditable, asset-backed settlement makes it harder to justify skimming interest on credit conjured by ledger entries. This is bigger than tech versus banks. It touches law and moral order. God's law honors honest weights and measures, transparent dealings, no theft by deception, and no oppression through abusive lending. The old system legalized money creation without collateral, routed it through private banks, and normalized charging interest on fabricated credit, a system that benefits from murky audit trails and concentrated control. That's Pharaoh economics. Control the grain, force dependence, rent life back to the slaves at interest. The emerging system Ripple aligns with offers the opposite. Tokenized value that's traceable, provable, and redeemable. Settlement finality without blind trust. Stablecoins like RLUSD that can be on-chain accountable and, if supervised by a bank charter and Fed account, directly overseen. XRP as a neutral bridge doesn't belong to any one nation or megabank. Neutrality plus auditability is the antidote to captive money. Under these conditions, the Fed's legacy model looks inefficient, non-compliant with modern data needs, systemically dangerous because of hidden rehypothecation, and morally indefensible when full reserve settlement is available. This doesn't guarantee overnight collapse, it's a trajectory. Nations move toward ledgered bilateral trade. Stablecoin legislation forces dollar token issuers into banking oversight, and Ripple is positioning itself as a regulated 24/7 settlement bank with custody, brokerage, treasury management, and programmable rails. So, do these trends merely challenge the Fed? No, they put its opaque, fractional reserve, usury-based model on trial. Ripple's integrated stack offers a lawful, transparent, auditable alternative that settles in seconds, encodes compliance at the transaction layer, honors real collateral, shrinks hidden leverage, and starves the parasite of unearned interest. In divine terms, this is the difference between Pharaoh lending you your labor at interest and Moses leading you through a door God opened. Brad Garlinghouse says XRP sits at the center of everything Ripple does because XRP and the rails Ripple is licensing and wiring into the Fed are being positioned as the neutral bridge for honest weights and measures. The days of invisible money priests extracting rent on engineered scarcity are numbered.